call the meeting to order of the Hubbardston Select Board on Monday, January 5th at 6:30 PM. Excuse me. Reminder to everyone that the meeting is being recorded, so please be respectful of each other as you are speaking and listening to each other.
Jeff, just one correction, it's now 6:47. We
Oh, I'm
missed the
sorry,
6:30
thank
mark.
you. That's right.
Way past that.
We changed our locale. We were upstairs. All right, with that in mind,
Anything out there? There's nothing out there.
we'll go to the announcements first.
All right, so coming up, we have this Friday, we have the Lions Club Meat Raffle at the Rod and Gun at 7 PM. Again, that's January 9th, this Friday, right? Yeah, this Friday. I'm like, I think it's this Friday. This Friday at 7 PM is the Lions Club Meat Raffle at the Rod and Gun. It's the first one of the season, and that is all we got right now.
My goodness.
Well, there's stuff in the works, but it's like, we gotta wait.
All right. Plus, we have an additional announcement on the agenda. Finance Committee meeting will be held Wednesday at 6 PM, correct?
I believe that's the time they settled on, so.
Up here?
Nope, I think it's gonna be downstairs,
In the
so I
meeting room,
think,
okay? Okay. So,
assuming the heat is working, I think their plan was to meet at 6, and then, I think planning board's at 6:30.
Oh, right.
So they're hoping to keep it pretty quick. The reason I actually, this is on here, I asked Jeff real quick, if I could just take a minute. I talked to Seth, who's currently, or has been the chair of the finance committee. They haven't reorganized yet, so I think that's on their agenda. But unless there's anyone who has any major objections to it, I was thinking it might be a good opportunity for me to go to the finance committee meeting and see if I can just give them an update from the select board's perspective of where we're at, what we've done, and where we're going on the finance side.
Bring the kids.
definitely. Huh?
It makes the meeting much shorter.
Yes. Well, if they only have till 6:30.
All right. Is there anyone here for open session? Okay, I assume that's what public comment means
Yeah.
on that. So that's a new one for me, okay. All right.
Yeah. We fixed it like 12 times.
We do not have a consent agenda tonight, so move on. We are waiting for that person now. So, let's do the update on grants planner. If we could, please.
Oh, yes, that's me, sorry. So I had a conversation on Friday with Alec, who is our part-time planner. So there's a couple things in the works and a couple things that we should be coming to the board pretty shortly. Unfortunately, before Nate left, there were 2 contracts that were outstanding.
Excuse me.
Oh, yep. Hey, Sean. You're
Come
good.
on in.
Whenever you're comfortable. Nope.
No.
Whenever you're
no,
comfortable,
this
if you
is-
just want to have a seat right
Sure,
there.
Change venue, there's not.
Yes.
Yeah, this is not the normal meeting room.
We didn't have any heat.
You're plenty early, so you're good.
Yeah.
So Alec, who is the part-time planner, I had a conversation with him on Friday. We're talking about a couple things that are up and coming. So unfortunately, before Nate left, there were 2 contracts from the state on grants we have that did not get signed. The state is kind of wonky with how you do signatories. You have to do the CASL form, DocuSign, all these things, the contract and so forth. So I had talked to Alec. He's going to get those 2 contracts over to Tricia so we can get them on the agenda for the next board meeting, and also give any authority we need to whomever to be able to sign those
sign it,
documents
yep, okay.
and change it from Nate's name to whoever we want to be signing.
Okay.
There's also, when I talked to Alec, there is also a DLTA grant that we had done last year that I think everyone just pulled back on because we never had an opportunity to finish it. The DLTA is Division of Local Technical Assistance, and it's through our Regional Planning Authority, so MRPC. And he said that essentially the plan in conversations with the planning board as well was to put forward the same piece they had previously, but just to update the grant on new letterhead and new years and so forth. So I believe they're going to discuss that potentially at this week's planning board meeting, and then it will come back to the select board to make sure it's something we still want to do, and then we'd be able to put that forward. It's important to note when I talked to Alec, I didn't realize this, but it makes a lot of sense to me, because Alec's full-time employer is another community. There's actually a provision in his contract with us that he cannot go after competitive grants, because that would be a conflict for him,
Yeah.
because he works for another town. You know, in the event we ever went for the same grant, that could be a problem.
Yeah.
DLTAs, you know, it's more regional. They're part of a different regional planning authority, so that wouldn't necessarily cross paths, but it was something particular. I talked to him about it. I said, sounds like, you know, usually DLTA grants are pretty straightforward. If we're doing the exact same thing, we can copy and paste what we had and put it forward again and move forward. So that's that. The other thing I talked to Alec about, he has a lot of concerns right now about making sure that we're supporting Leanne in the building department. And as well as, you know, just the land use and planning and so forth, that there's a lot of grant projects, a lot of things that are up and coming, and he just wants to make sure she has enough support. And he had suggested that he was going to look into on his side and with his current employer if there was any wiggle room for him to give us a few more hours a week,
Okay.
potentially, to
I'm
be
like,
able
what kind of
to
support is
come in,
referring to?
be able to physically come in a couple hours on, you know, occasional Fridays or what have you, to be able to back her up, sit with her, or even just do some hands-on work on stuff in the office.
Okay.
So I had talked to him last week. He said he wanted to talk to his town administrator in the community he works in, and then if that was something they were okay with, he was going to write us a letter for one of our upcoming board meetings so that we can review and determine if that's the direction we want to go.
Okay.
Do you feel that that's gonna go?
So I think it would be a conversation with Leanne to see if she feels it's something that would be helpful. I think right now that department in general, between building, land use and so forth, could use a little bit more support. There's a lot of things that are up in the air. We have a couple of the grants that are starting to roll that we need to look at and how we do that and so forth. I think obviously one of the questions we're going to be asking, I think throughout this fiscal year, is going to be, can we afford it, right? Where are we fiscally? And he thought that there might have been some extra money that was put aside in that his line last year for the potential of having additional hours.
Okay.
But I had suggested that we may not know that until we have our outside consultant come in and start taking a look and making sure everything is appropriated correctly and all of the credits and debits are in the right lines.
Okay.
And then we can really see what we have left and what we're supposed to have in those different lines to figure out where we're at. So that's the story with Alec. So we should have some updates coming up in the next couple of weeks for that. Yes, Peter.
I just want to say that I've been working with Leanne, and she is an amazing employee. The way she's juggling between all the interviews we're doing, setting them up, second interviews, she doesn't skip a beat. So I just wanted to give kudos to Leanne for, everybody's doing a phenomenal job for what we're going through right now, so I just wanted to make note of that. She's just amazing.
Yes,
Keeps
she
in
is.
contact, emails me constantly, and sets everything up.
Your new BFF.
She's right on it, I'm telling you.
I agree completely. They're all down there. They're all on it.
They're all on it,
Yep.
yeah. She was like amazing today. Made me look bad.
All set?
I don't have anyone
Any other
else
comments or questions?
Thank you.
Okay.
Anybody? All right. It's a little bit unusual tonight, the way we're in here, and it's a kind of a very small, intimate group, and especially for what we're about to be doing next. So for the benefit of Mr. Fitzgerald, could we, those of us who were not in on the interview, I think it'd be good if we could all introduce ourselves, everybody also, and in the capacity that you are in, especially to help give him
you
some
too.
information.
Yes, behind the camera.
So, that being the case, let's start with you, Peter.
Peter Walker, retired Department of Corrections on the Select Board.
I'm Katie. We met earlier.
You did.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm still Heather Monroe.
Yes.
Nice to meet you again.
Hi, Sean, Chris Borrego. Nice to meet you, Chris.
Jeff Williams, I'm the chair of the board, and nice to meet you, Sean. Would you,
I'm Steve Landry, the Gardner News.
Nice to meet you, Steve.
Chief,
Ryan Kuchar, Chief of Police. We met earlier. Nice to meet you in person.
See you again.
Bridget?
She's like, nope.
Wait, can you turn the camera all the way around?
Yes, turn it around.
She's our cable girl, she.
Oh, I was on the cable commission, so
Okay.
you got a big responsibility there.
Mike?
Mike Stahl, public at large, serve on several committees for the town.
Nice to meet you.
Patricia Lowe,
Acting?
temporary town administrator, executive assistant, and program coordinator for the Hubbardston Public Library.
And again, welcome.
Thank you.
So we will move to, under the personnel update on searches. I'll turn it over to you.
Sure, but I'm gonna probably turn this one back over. Peter, executive assistant position.
Okay?
Have we had not set up? I think Leanne was reaching out today to get the list. We had about 7 or 8 people, I
Yeah, we had
think.
7, 8, we whittled it down to probably 2, maybe 3. And we've actually been trying to get the assistant treasurer collector first. We put a little more priority on that than the executive assistant. Just because the treasurer's alone and she's having to deal with all the phones and everything. And everybody's coming in to pay their taxes and everything now. and
Yep.
She's out straight. So we set up another interview for assistant treasurer collector because I guess the prior offer was refused. So we'll move on to the next step, and we've got an interview, I think, set up on Wednesday.
Okay. Thank you.
And one
On
other
building
thing-
commissioner?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I might as well stay right on it.
Yep.
So we did another interview today with the building commissioner. We've got the first guy we interviewed last week, he's coming in for a meeting. He may also be Wednesday. My brain's scrambled right now, so.
No, we have a second next Monday.
Okay, so the second is next Monday.
Yeah.
Okay, and we had.
Will Duffy be there?
Yeah,
I'm
he
assuming
probably, he was there too. So we had a first interview with a gentleman today. I was pretty impressed. So we're gonna set a second up for him also. And it's out of our hands after that, so.
Well, again, well done to all of you. You've been
Can I
working-
ask a question? What is the current status of the building commissioner position?
Duffy's babysitting.
Yeah.
Duffy's holding it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Part-time or full-time?
It's always been a part-time position.
I believe we have them. Do we have acting or interim? I don't remember which terminology we
He
use.
is, he's interim, he's just filling in till we can fill the position, covering all bases. And I think.
Yeah, he originally came back for that very purpose, to kind of assist
As
the
an interim,
individual who was
yeah, when the
in
gentleman-
place at that time. So,
Yeah. So-
But his plan is to leave when we get a new building commissioner?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Correct. And the new one's gonna be, what, 19 hours a week?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's 19 hours a week for the building commissioner.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything? Okay, thank you again, Katie and Peter. Heather, you want to bring us up to date on the search committee?
Sure. It looks like we have about 5 residents or so that are interested in the position so far. Remember, or the sitting
had
on the
agreed
screening
on how
committee.
many?
We said 7.
7, right, okay.
So I think we had, if I remember correctly, 2 employees, 1 finance representative, either someone in the finance office or from FinCom, 1 person from the planning board, and then 3 members at large. So we have enough. We have more than enough people for the members at large. Now we're just looking for the employees and the finance side. So at the FinCom meeting on Wednesday, I can bring it back up to finance, let them know. And maybe tomorrow Tricia can send out an email to the town employees and just say we're looking for at least 2 employees who are interested in this piece. And then planning board meets on Wednesday, so I can make sure that the planning board chair brings it up at his meeting.
Okay.
Or I can tell Leanne, which is probably smarter.
Yeah.
Anything else on that? Okay,
Oh, Jeff, I think the close date on that. Tricia, do you remember? I think I was just looking that up. Do you remember what the close date
I
was?
don't remember it off the top of my head, but I can pull that up.
Okay.
in a second.
19.
for that committee, you mean?
Yeah, I thought it was before our next meeting, because originally I thought it was before this meeting.
We've had so many
Maybe there's
meetings
some
now,
nine.
it's confusing.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Well, we do is meet, so it does get quite
Every Monday.
And some Tuesdays.
Yeah, some
Wednesdays.
Tuesdays. Don't forget the interviews and,
Yeah.
all the good stuff.
Okay, let's see.
9th being Friday. I seem to
Is it-
recall that.
I'm looking. It has, let's see, board committee vacancy executive.
I don't recall what
It's right
the
here.
close date we
Got
put
it.
on
Do you have
that.
the date?
Mhm. Applications are due by January 13th.
13.
January
We're
16th?
all wrong.
And committee
13th.
recommendations are
13th.
to be reviewed by the select board by January 19th at the January 19th
Okay.
select board meeting, so your next meeting.
Okay,
Next regularly scheduled meeting.
Next
Maybe.
regularly scheduled meeting.
okay. Thank you.
And how many employees did you want, did you say?
We said two employees and then a finance-related person, whether it was on FinCom or Capital or someone in one of the finance offices.
If
3 residents, 1 planning
If
board.
we can't find an employee, I'll sit on that. I don't have an issue with that.
Okay. I think what we did last time, Peter, and what we talked about, if I remember correct from our conversation, was we were trying to have the board not
Not
sit
be
on
on
the
it.
screening committee.
But
The
if we're-
ultimate decision
So-
comes to us.
Right, but if it gets to that point where they need another body, I'm offering my service for a small fee.
That's very kind of
Stop
you.
it. Stop it.
Is that twice what you get paid
Yes.
Yeah,
Big bet.
oh, time and a
2
half.
times 0.
now? 2 zeros.
2 zeros. Double zeros.
Excellent.
If we can't come up with somebody between FinCom and like
But I
all the
mean, I
different.
suppose we could hit up another committee.
Well, yeah, you got capital planning, there's all kinds of, yeah. It'll be fine.
All right.
It'll be
Yeah,
fine.
it would-
Somebody
it
will
would be
phone you.
best that it wasn't just like one of us, because the final choice comes down to us.
And you're gonna burn yourself out.
So,
We're all gonna burn ourselves
Yeah.
out. Yeah, I'm talking. Oh, yes, I am, because I'm already feeling it.
All right.
Give up booze.
all set then. Go to the next item. Chief, if you want, Ryan, if you would, please, positions.
All right, so I have 2 open positions. As I stated in my letter, one basically has been cut. The funding is not there. The other one, the funding is there. However, the funding for the academy and the equipment fee and some of the salary for this year isn't in my budget. The next academy starts in June. I did some interviews. I conditionally gave an offer to James Moffett. He's a dispatcher in Clinton. He lives in Stowe. It was obviously pending approval by the select board, and then pending that he completes the background check and the requirements of the post commission, which is the academy and those things. So essentially I need funding for his equipment and the academy fee. If I wait until after the fiscal year starts for next year, I won't be able to get him into an academy
You
until
missed the
December.
academy, yeah.
So the academy's gonna go June to December. I'll get him in December, and then he has to do his field training. So I'm still not gonna see him until 2027, even if we hire him immediately.
Yeah.
It's just the way, the process that we have to go through.
So
And
we'd
they
be
don't have it.
shorthanded basically for
Yeah, We're shorthanded now.
now,
Right.
but I'm
So-
saying, we don't see, the horizon is not there yet.
So I have one in the academy now. He graduates at the end of January. I'm hoping his FTO is only going to be 8 to 10 weeks, and then he'll be working. So that'll take care of some of the overtime we're spending right now on some of the shifts that we're trying to fill. And it'll get us another officer on the street. So really, right now we're three guys short. And
Down
we're
3.
filling all the shifts.
Down
We
3.
are filling all our shifts. It's just we can't keep
Yeah, you're burning
not
yourself out.
filling, and then I'm burning out guys
You're
that
gonna burn
are
out the regulars.
the guys that are working now are going to be burnt
What-
out at the end and say.
Well,
they didn't get
what's
done
the amount of money you're talking about?
So one officer for the, if we hire James Moffett, it's about 13,700 and change is what I would need on top of what I have now in my budget. I understand.
To
that,
take care of the what, the one for that
that would get us
academy?
through the fiscal year.
No,
Wouldn't-
just to.
Oh, just the
But
fiscal year.
his salary is it would already be in next fiscal year budget. This is just salary for June to July, and then academy fees, and equipment, which obviously has to be paid out of this fiscal year. I may be able to eat some of that up with what I have, but I'm paying overtime to fill shifts. It's gonna come to a point where I can't afford to fill shifts. I don't want to have happen. So that's really the dilemma we're in. I'm anticipating that one of our seasoned officers is going to retire next year. Well, this year, this calendar year.
Yeah.
So he hasn't given me a date yet. He's kind of been, you know,
Hemming and hawing.
a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, he wants to retire. He has the time in, and
Yeah, but-
he does want to. It's just he's also doesn't want to leave us completely shorthanded. So, knowing that that is probably going to happen, I want to make sure that we are
Yeah.
putting guys in the academy so that when he does go, and if there's any other things that happen, we have the staffing that I can keep.
So right now, how many bodies are you down? 3, you said?
3.
Well, you have 1 in the academy right now.
That's one of the 3.
So that's
you-
one of the 3.
Right.
So you're down 2,
Correct.
and possibly 3 with a retirement coming.
Correct.
So we need to get 2 in the academy.
I feel like at the very least we need to get these 2 in the academy,
Yeah.
so that because then we're gonna need to do it.
So the
another
academy
one.
fee's 12,000.
It's about
13.
13,000 and
What's
change
the equipment?
to get me to July 1st, and then there's no extra. It's just it's in the budget that he'll be getting paid.
What's the equipment cost?
It's about 9,500 for equipment and fees.
So you're talking 20,000, 21,000.
But the 13,000 covers salary and equipment and
Oh, it
fees.
does- oh, it does.
That's the total. That's the total
Oh.
number for one guy from June to June to July.
So 13,
So,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Well,
What's this doing to your shifts?
Well, currently I have my 2 sergeants are working doubles almost all the time. So it's not sustainable financially because
No?
they're the most expensive overtime
It's
rate that I
overtime,
have in
yeah.
my, you know, that
Yeah.
we have to pay for. So, and it's gonna burn them out. It probably already is burning them out, you know.
Are we ever without coverage?
We're not ever without coverage. I haven't allowed that to happen. I've worked shifts when I've had to. That's if those guys are on, 16 hours and something opens up and I can't fill it, then I've done it. But I've only had to do that a handful of times.
Is there reciprocity between us and, let's say, other towns? Should it get to a point like that, that we needed some?
So, our part-time staff already work full-time in other departments. We're already kind of stealing from other departments. That's the only way that we've been able to sustain our part-time patrol force, which we only have 3 guys doing that.
So what are you hoping to get from us right now?
He wants to know where to get the money.
Oh,
So
that-
the question
well,
is where do we get the money?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm looking for approval to officially hire James Moffett. He still won't go to the academy, getting any money or anything like that until the academy
Moffett.
starts in June.
Moffett.
And then I'd additionally be asking to post a position, and then see what I get. If I get somebody with an academy, then it's less money. There's still probably some money there, but it would be less money that I would be asking for.
So if you post the position, it's a police officer that is leaving another position and coming over here that's already been through the academy, it won't cost as
Correct,
much.
but I don't, I can't say with any confidence that that would happen, just
Correct.
because historically I know our applicant pool is not academy trained. That's what we're always pulling from.
question, Chief. Are these positions funded even though there's no bodies in the positions right now? What happens?
So
if-
one has been cut out completely by budget cuts over like 3 fiscal years. And then,
But it's, you have full-time positions, FTPs, I think, full-time. So you're short 3.
short 3 bodies currently, yes,
So, and 2 of them are funded and 1's not.
correct. So we've kind of been chasing that position
Been
for
chasing it for 4 or 5 years that I know of.
a while,
Yeah.
It's just, it seems we fill a spot and then a veteran officer goes somewhere else.
Yeah.
And part of that is because of burnout. Part of it's because of money. It's just,
And it
it's
costs
the
us
nature
more in
of the business.
overtime than it would be to staff the position.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm paying a sergeant overtime to cover what essentially should be our regular
Yeah.
rate of
We need to find the money.
we're talking about $50-something an hour instead of $27 an
Well,
hour.
tax rate just went up and I got whacked, so I have no issue with it.
So, Chief, question.
Go.
So, you're talking 13K extra, and as of right now, it looks like you're not gonna have that within your budget to cover.
Correct.
how confident are you, based on running numbers, moving forward to the next couple months, especially with the OT rate being that's going to be the case?
So, like I said, I'm filling my shifts,
yeah.
but I've cut. Guys are working alone.
Mhm.
That's what it comes down to.
Guys are
Guys are working by themselves. So, like, I have one
That was,
officer on duty
the
right
other
now.
thing I
We
was
would
gonna
normally
ask,
have two.
yeah.
That's dangerous and not really
Yep.
sustainable either.
Yep.
That can be attributed to burnout and why people leave departments because they're working by themselves.
And leads to things happening that wouldn't normally happen if you had normal rest.
Correct. So, yeah.
So when we did the budgeting season last year, was this something that was known at the time, or did something change between budgeting for this fiscal year and now?
So, we had an officer in the academy while we were budgeting this.
Yeah.
He graduated the academy and then he's since resigned. As far as I know, he's not in law enforcement anymore, so I feel like, and it wasn't because of anything disciplinary, it was just, I don't think that the law enforcement thing was for him. I don't want to speak for him, but he's not working anywhere else right now. So, and that happens, but that's kind of unforeseen. I didn't think we would, I think everybody in our department, there's people that ran the academy that were like, oh, he's going to be a great officer for your department. And he was a great officer, but then he left. So that left a hole that I didn't think we were going to have to fill.
Okay.
Right, sure.
So what about going to, and I know we can only go to the well so much, but right now that's our only option.
Well, we
Going
still
to-
don't know what our free cash is yet, right?
Yeah, but I guess I'm not talking about free cash yet,
Okay.
Jeff, because that's not on the table since we haven't closed the books.
Yeah, right.
I was thinking more reserve fund, and where their FinCom's meeting on Wednesday to review a reserve fund transfer already for, what was it, $3,000 for plowing. This,
Correct.
it may not be too much to ask of them to also review potentially a $13,000. If we move the money and we don't end up needing it for whatever reason, or the chief has additional funds in his budget at the end of the year and is able to wiggle some, then we can always repurpose it, send it back to free cash, whatever it may be. We also, there's always a possibility that when we get to annual town meeting this year, that maybe we have to do some appropriations from free cash just for the FY26 budget we're currently in before we close it. Or, if it gets dire enough, we think about having a special town meeting after we have free cash certified if we need to repopulate anything. I don't know. I
And
can't
what's the amount?
forecast. This is 13,000.
No, I mean, in the reserve fund.
So we started with 40,000. They haven't appropriated anything yet. Their first request is 3,000. That brings it down to 37. Drop 13. Where does that? 24.
Yeah.
So it brings about 24.
For the whole financial overage.
We
It was
don't.
like- But we were guessing it was like 6.
So for the payout for vacation time, or are we talking
No.
about for?
No, for Marcia and that.
I don't think we're gonna know for sure yet until we know what's in the lines. But it should balance. It should be somewhat close.
Yeah.
With Mary just working a few hours each week, and then having Marcia come in as the consultant also out of that line. But we won't know more until we get all the lines cleaned up to know what we actually have.
I'd like to throw this out, and I mean, I'm totally in support, Ryan. But in the last couple of days or so forth, we've lost 2 plows. Are we liable to have DPW coming in? I mean, safety is gonna be our first concern for the town, but we're talking about 2 departments who deal with safety. Are they gonna be asking for money? And God knows how much, but we've lost 2 plows and Travis is trying to figure out ways of,
So I thought it was just the fuel tank
So,
on the truck to get
no,
in.
that's not what I might
But-
understand.
One truck.
Sure.
plus
Tricia, do you
the
know?
plow.
Yeah, Tricia is due for, I think, an update on that in a few minutes on the
Alright.
property.
I'm just
damage
bringing it up
thing.
because of money issue,
Right.
not
But-
for anything.
But remember a couple things. Number one, so we're in the winter season, right? And it's all snow related. So snow and ice removal, snow and ice operations and so forth, they allow us to deficit spend if we need to deficit spend. So we do have that.
Even on
the
equipment?
equipment is related to the snow and ice removal, and
I knew
the
about the
snow
snow
plow
removal,
Insurance.
assuming they weren't, pushing into something. That's the second thing, is that insurance should cover, that's why we carry it. One, we might end up paying the deductible for. The other one wasn't, Tricia will get into it, doesn't sound like it was our fault, so theoretically speaking, we should be okay on that one as well.
But we still don't have the plow, and that's.
And then when the truck
The
that we
function,
bought.
yeah.
Travis got
being
it
outfitted.
so that it's out there right now,
Okay.
working, so.
That
we
So
at
I was
least
just
have
asking.
one.
But, yes, but that's why I think one of my things I had mentioned was that there's a possibility that if, we get into a situation where we're like, hey, we're gonna whip through the reserve fund, we don't know what else is coming, then maybe we go to a special town meeting and move some free cash once it gets certified,
Okay.
if we need it. I don't know if
Yeah,
anyone knows at this point, unless their magic ball's better than mine. And it could be.
Mine's broken.
Mine does yes or no.
Mine's
That's it.
Well, let's go back to the police officer then.
Can I,
I think we need to take care of that.
just a question, on the equipment side, so the officer elect, what happens to his equipment?
So we do have some of that.
Okay.
Like uniforms and stuff like
No,
that.
I'm
it's all
talking,
like, so that
I'm talking
won't-
vest, weapon, belt.
Camera.
You know,
So the
cameras.
vest can only be used if it's gonna fit them. They come out, they measure us for the.
No, I
vest,
understand,
so-
it's fitted to your
so-
body. so-
Right. So like, but obviously we have firearms. We already have them.
So the only
It's not
really
something we
usable
need
is
to
the
buy.
plates.
It's but their belt, the
Yeah,
mag pouches, things like that. We do have some of that
Alright.
stuff. So
Just
there is
curious.
there is a little bit of a
good
savings
spare,
there,
spares
but-
to have, yeah.
Right.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I support, I mean, we need to find the money, that's all there's to it. Public
I-
safety.
I agree completely. We're gonna burn out our guys and spend way more money paying them to burn them out. We literally pay to burn
Do
them out.
you,
Safety have to be.
what is your overtime budget? What are we, bi-weekly?
Well, so like are you talking for the year
Well,
or are you,
what's it costing us right now to
I
cover
don't
those two
have the
shifts?
exact
What's,
numbers.
so you, how much have we spent in overtime this year just covering shifts? Well, the year just started, so the past year, past 6 months.
It's hard to get that to find that data only because it's not when they fill a shift, it's not categorized like in our system as like, oh, that overtime was
So overtime's
Was-
overtime, you don't know whether it's covering an empty spot or...
court duty,
Yeah.
sick day, vacation day.
Right.
Like, I mean, I could get that data. It's just going to take me a while. Like, I don't have it with me right now.
Is that more work for the clerk to do to categorize overtime just for shift coverage?
I would have to go
I
back.
think you would have a
through-
slot for shift coverage if it's covered by overtime.
I would have to go back through and look in detail at the schedule and say, all right, this.
All right, well, in all your spare time, take care of that. All right, thank you.
I can get you the information.
Well, I'm
it's
just
gonna-
curious what we're spending on overtime to cover these two shifts, and I already know it's time and a half at a sergeant's rate.
You're right.
At maxed out salary.
Shift by shift, it's $50-something an hour in overtime as opposed to 27 or less if it's a part-timer.
Yeah.
But for future, to sell this to, especially at a town meeting or anything, you should have that number right off the
I
top
should
of
have
your
had
head.
that number
Yes,
with me. I
just
do
say,
agree with you.
Brian, just one thing for clarity before I ask for a motion, because I think we are in favor of this. James Moffett,
Mhm.
is he the one that would be going to the academy, or is this
He would
one
be
who's
go-
ready to be hired now?
He would have to go to the academy. And
So is he the one that the 13K
that
is covering?
That's correct. Yes.
So if we put a motion forward to do this, if I'm understanding, we still are going to be short because it's not an officer who's ready to come in and work.
That's
So
correct.
We're not totally solving the problem in that sense, right?
The officers are going to continue to work alone.
I don't like that at all.
And
yeah.
then once, what I've been doing is I kind of have a grasp of when we get busier, for the most part.
the problem times.
You know, obviously our job is variable and you just
Sure.
never know when it's
Yeah.
going to be absolutely busy. I mean, I was on an accident scene tonight and I was, it just happened I was here.
Yeah.
So, they'll work alone, and I'm kind of using, all right, this is kind of a slower time, and rolling the dice, so to speak. I don't like doing it, but
So
it's
dangerous.
it's
Oh,
what we have to do to operate at this time.
It's a catch-22, you're caught right now, there's nothing you can do about it.
So we're within budget. You know, I don't need extra money if we don't do this, but if somebody gets fed up and says, I'm not working doubles anymore, I'm going to another
Right.
department that I don't have to do this, then we're gonna be really in trouble.
So you said right now there's one in the academy.
There's one in the
When
academy,
are they
graduates at the end of January 29th.
Okay, so the end of this month. We have one coming in the academy, and it'll be with an FTO for,
He'll be 8 to 10 weeks FTO is
Okay.
what we're anticipating.
yeah,
He'll be on the 3 to 11 shift,
okay,
so that'll put another body at least
yep,
on that shift,
Yep.
which is good.
yep.
Will that take down some of the people who are alone?
Yes, the 3
Okay.
to 11. That it solves the problem of them working alone
Mhm.
because normally that's really the shift that we have 2 people on.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
that's the rock and roll shift.
It
And then
is.
you wanted their approval to post the second position.
I would, but the caveat to that is I would need more than just
Yeah,
$13,000.
you need 26.
If the person's on academy trained, I need 26. So, and I do realize the financial constraints that we're under already.
Anything further from the board? Chris, do you have anything or any question on this?
I can not.
All right, I'm sensing we are in favor, but would someone like to make the motion?
I'm ready.
So, yeah, great. So before I make the motion, so my thought is that we essentially send the chief to FinCom for the reserve fund for $1,300 for the.
13,000.
I'm sorry, I like 1,300 better, sorry. $13,000.
Well, it's more than 13, isn't it?
No, it's 13 to get us to the end of the year, and that will cover the person's pay while they're at the academy and all of the costs relative to the academy. And then
And
next
equipment.
fiscal year, assuming we don't do any major cuts, his budget's already gonna cover the,
I understand all that.
Person.
But didn't you say it was 13 something?
It's 13.7, but quite honestly, if it's 13, it's $700.
If we're gonna go for it, we might as well go
Isn't
for
gonna
it
make or
all.
break anything.
all right. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we support the police chief's reserve fund request submitted to Finance Committee in the amount of $14,000 to be able to send a police officer to the academy at the end of this fiscal year.
Motion is made
Second.
and second. Any further discussion or questions? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Yes,
Aye.
opposed, abstained, motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you guys for doing what they're doing.
Do you know what you need to do for the
Well, hold on, does he want a motion to post the second job just to see what's out there? Because you never know, he might luck
Yeah.
out.
If you have one already trained.
And I can certainly just
I don't know.
look for that.
Why don't we put a motion up
You
for that?
certainly can make one.
Yeah, I'd like to make that motion that we allow Chief Kuchar to put a posting out to see if he can find a applicant for a secondary
Who can step right
station.
in.
Yeah, well,
You
let's
say-
see what's out there.
Okay,
Yeah.
second?
a motion's been made and second. Any questions or discussions on that? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Opposed, abstained, motion carried. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Thank you again.
Thank you for what you do.
Do
It's
you,
my pleasure.
do you want me to send you the reserve fund request?
Form.
Form,
Yes,
Bleh.
please.
and help you fill it out.
I could, well, if I need help, I will ask, that's for
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
Thank you, though. But yes, I would like that. email.
On a somewhat related matter for later, were you planning on sticking around?
Yes.
Because, and you're perfectly welcome, that's why I'm asking, but I don't think it's gonna be necessary for you as far as I'm concerned, but that's up to you, okay?
Yeah, I'll
right.
stick around.
I need
He's gonna hang
protection.
out.
It's warm in here.
Okay,
Toasty.
It's cold
all
outside.
right, moving on, thanks, Ryan.
Yes.
Okay, under personnel, any other updates from anyone? Well, we can go.
I hope not.
Okay. We've kind of talked about this already a little bit, the departmental requests and needs. Well, we got your requests already. We're still wondering about DPW.
I have a couple of requests from DPW, but I don't know if we should
They can-
discuss it private, pre or now, or, I mean, I think Heather can probably understand where I'm coming from on that.
I can, but there's so many things in the air right now,
I know,
Peter. I don't
I
know if
don't-
I would catch the cue.
Yeah, I don't.
So we had done a form that we sent out to everybody a number of weeks ago, and when I talked to Alec on Friday, he had mentioned he just put in his responses, and I went in and apparently a few more people had popped in their responses as well. So we're up to about 30 responses between departments and boards and committees. So we can consolidate some of
As
these.
far as what people want.
Yep. Remember, because we had asked
Yeah,
folks a
yeah.
number of questions and that we asked them to, we wanted to make sure that with the transition we weren't missing anything and nothing got lost. So we asked people to tell us about any matters that they currently believe that the select board needs to take some action on, attention on the select board agenda. We asked folks how the board can better assist and support them. We asked which category, let's see, we already covered that one. Let's see, and then if there was any other information that they had or anything else they needed. So we had a variety of things. Some things we've been ticking off as we go, so some were easy, some small appointments. The chief had put in, so he's on the agenda tonight, and he's now mostly resolved, hopefully. So we've been trying to tick through these. I'm happy to consolidate what we haven't addressed yet and put it on an upcoming, just a list for the board to have. The form it populates it in doesn't really, it's in a kind of clunky Excel where people wrote 4 paragraphs, so it's like this big of a column. But we've covered quite a few of those pieces. There's a lot of questions on the budget season and where we are with that. We have been receiving a lot of people's budgets. Some people have been struggling with the form they used last year. I don't think it was working for everyone, or maybe it only submitted, no. So we're gonna have
So
to
are any
figure
of
that
these
out.
immediate? Because one of the
No.
things we did with all the confusion, since we lost the people here, and we put a freeze on unnecessary,
Yeah.
you know,
Yes.
We can move it to the
spending.
13th.
So
Yep, so I think,
unless it's an
19th.
emergency, I guess,
Well, the 19th.
we can't, we haven't lifted that.
yep.
That's nice.
So I think we can definitely put, I can consolidate these and I can work with Tricia, or whoever else to just kind of put these all into one list and see what else we have to check off.
Okay.
And then, like I said, we've been trying to put them on to agendas as we've been going whenever something's come up, so we can try to address it as it is.
Without overwhelming.
I'll talk to you or Heather or something,
Okay.
and we can discuss it and decide whether we want to put it on the agenda for the 19th.
Sounds good.
Sound fair?
Yep,
All
sounds
right,
good, yep.
Very good.
But, Mr. Chair, going back to other updates, and I saw Tricia, so it reminded
Yeah,
me.
she's on there.
We currently, I think we've been accepting her extension week to week. So since we don't have another executive assistant ready to go yet, we may want to consider extending her maybe at least to like the end of the month. And then that gives us a little bit more time. And then if we get to that point and we need to extend further, we can always talk to her about that.
Do we know if she would accept an extension?
I think she might accept an
I
extension.
think she would.
Trish, what do you think?
Yeah, it just, I have some things coming up in January, so there may be some days where I will have to,
Fail.
I'll have to excuse myself for the day or
So we talking a
during
month
certain
again?
times. And
The end of January.
going into February, just as a heads up, I will be in Cancun for a few days, so I cannot
Just a few
executive.
days.
Like a travel and
Even now, after tonight.
I'm supposed to be enjoying my 30s.
Okay.
I'm
Yes,
trying
yes.
to enjoy
All
my
right.
30s.
Yes.
Reached that decision yet, so. yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
but we can.
But
do
yes,
that
I
first piece.
accept going into, as long as you guys need me to. I do know you and Leanne have some interviews set up. I am also
We do.
happy to stay on and help my replacement muddle
Thank
through
you.
the mud.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, would you accept a motion?
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion that we extend the appointment of Tricia Lowe as the executive assistant through January 31st, 2026.
Motion made
Second.
and second.
executive assistant or?
No,
Just executive
Interim.
assistant. I think we
No,
just need the
executive
EA for
assistant.
now.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
roger that.
So motion's been made and second. Any further discussion,
No, sir.
questions? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Yes. Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried. Thank you, Trish. Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up.
Thank you, Trish.
All right, finance update.
Oh, so, everyone in town hall deserves a lot of kudos on this one. They were able to get the tax bills printed
Yeah.
and mailed out. I received mine the other
I got
day.
mine.
I
I was so
mine.
excited to
My wife
see
wasn't
it.
happy,
Oh.
but
I am not happy. I want
So-
to know.
So they did get out. which is excellent, and it was not for the lack of a lot of effort from everyone in town hall to get things printed
Yeah.
and mailing stuffed, as well as I believe some senior work-off volunteers may have
Yes.
been involved as well in those efforts. We hope to avoid this next year, but you know, we are very fortunate to have a great staff and people who are willing to put in the effort to make it happen.
I sure did.
I'm just gonna let you know that I'm looking north of the border for real estate, so.
It's not
Thanks,
up
Peter.
there.
For the benefit of the public, the tax rate went down, but our assessments and value went up. That's why you're seeing,
A lot.
Like everybody else.
so just like everybody else, yeah. Okay. The general liability waiver approval form.
Yeah, this is something.
Yes.
Yeah,
So Tricia ran into the other room real quick, but I can
that's this one. right?
just, I think there's actually, I think there are two, or I have two anyway.
Yeah, I have two too.
Oh, one,
I'll take one.
One's for
Yeah, I don't
children,
know.
I think. Isn't it?
oh, that could be
Did you
it.
get two of them?
So
I had two
Tricia,
downstairs, but I didn't bring them
yeah.
up.
Here you go, Jeff, you wanna look at these ones? So Tricia,
Oh, I got them.
yes. So where in Tricia's library had they'd reached out because they had some concerns about making sure they had some liability consent release forms for some upcoming events. And one of my recommendations to Tricia was to reach out to the Small Town Administrators Massachusetts group and actually ask for people who already had waivers that were already approved by legal.
KP Law.
Well, more than 50% of municipalities in Massachusetts use KP Law, some use American O'Connell, and then the rest are like other versions. But generally speaking, if you can start with a liability waiver that's already been approved by one of the law firms, then you're in a good shape to be able to modify, you know, a few of the terms if you need to and move forward. So I've given them the rundown, but
Yes, I literally, the one that Town of Guild sent me very nicely has already been reviewed by legal. And they sent it to me in a Word document, and I literally, the only thing I changed was Town of Hubbardston.
So one is for
Minors,
people.
one is for grown-ups, one is for minors.
Oh, okay,
So
not-
he suggested, if I can borrow this for just
Okay.
a second, this one right here, it's the consent
Yeah.
release form. We, legal relationship
That's
to the child,
Okay.
and then they put the child's name. Now, what they suggested to me, and the reason why there is two
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
signatures here,
Yeah.
is that, so mom comes to me, she has 50-50 custody.
Yeah.
Mom and dad both have to sign.
Yeah.
Oh.
So if they're divorced kids.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And just, this is to cover, any,
I got it.
But that's Hubbard's.
Oh, that's okay.
activity that the town does. If we ever get a recreation department, you're gonna need these.
Yeah.
Most towns are journeying their way over to liability forms, especially for minors, especially programs that the town puts on, or programs that the library puts on. It's just to cover and
Yeah.
make sure.
The church.
Right.
So,
Correct. So
Not the
what
church,
brought it
the
up
old
was, the library and I, have wanted to start a struggling readers program. It's something that a bunch of parents came to me and asked. They knew it was a brainchild of mine. They would love to see it happen. The Gardner Animal Shelter paired with us. The kids are gonna go into the animal shelter and read to the animals.
Excellent.
They won't be in the cages or anything like that. They'll be sitting out. They'll be given instructions.
And they don't ask questions.
But they asked if we had something like this. That sparked my curiosity. I went through the archives of the town. We don't currently have something. Heather gave me the idea to reach out to the other communities, and it looks like a couple other communities have moved over to having liability waivers, especially ones that have rec departments, and I know that is something that we've talked about and thought about in the future, and or having events that, like foam parties or something like that. At our rec field, if the Lions wanted to put on like a ninja tournament or something, they could come to us for the liability waiver, that
So-
kind of thing.
So it's a generalized form
It's
so
very
that anyone
general. It's
can,
as general as you
Yeah.
get. You literally
Yeah.
just copy and paste your name into it.
yeah.
They'll
Anyone,
still sue you, but at least we have a
Yeah,
form.
but at
At
least
least we
we
have a form.
at
They'll
least
still
we
gonna
have,
sue you,
we have the
We
insurance.
got the form.
You know what I mean? So at least we have the insurance for it. Now we just
If
need.
Chief ever wanted to do a ride along, he would grab this and they would sign it.
gotcha.
Don't worry.
Make sure you get a
Did
copy.
Did our legal review both of these?
Our legal did not. I asked Bill who their legal team is, and surprise,
Same
it's
one.
KP Law.
Yeah, so there you go.
We can most certainly pay additional to have them review, and I promise you they'll change a comma or two. But,
For a real low price of $800
Yeah,
per
okay.
hour.
yeah.
Anyone have
So-
any questions
No.
on this?
Tricia, the only thing I'd say, just on the minor one, can you just put up at the top, like minor? Yeah, just
Yeah.
to make it easier, because
Absolutely.
Jeff was easily confused for a few minutes and took the rest of us a few minutes as well
I'm
to
sorry.
figure out why we had 2 copies.
So, at what age does
Eight.
minor go up to?
Minor goes up
18.
till 18.
Yeah,
18,
18.
okay.
So,
So then an 18-year-old need to fill this out?
yeah.
yeah, 18 would be here.
Okay,
Under 18
So
would be here.
basically, we need to approve both forms
yes,
Yep.
sir.
separately, right? Okay.
Mr. Chairman, you ready?
Yes.
All right, I'd like to make a motion to approve both forms as presented, one for the minor and one for adults, for the Town of Hubbardston consent and release forms.
Second.
Motion made, and second. Any comments, further questions? Seeing none, public, anybody? All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried. That took care of
Good
both of them, right?
Yes, sir.
So, okay. Moving right along. The property damage claim updates.
Hi.
Trish?
Is this the equipment?
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
this is a lot. Buckle up, Buttercups. We've got quite a few. All right, we have 3 claims currently out in the wild. I'm gonna do the 30-second update because I know how much you guys all love the 30-second update. You ready? Okay. First and foremost, the last storm, we had a tree. Gave up the good fight and fell onto the police station side of the Slade building, took out Chief Kuchar's window, and there is some potential damage to the roof. So the insurance
Really?
company
The
has
roof.
the roof. The insurance company has been made aware of it. I did my due diligence and I have plenty of pictures to show the damage. So that has gone in. At this point, anything that we do, board the window, get a tarp for the roof, have to call in an emergency carpenter or whoever, the insurance company will reimburse us for any money spent on fixing it. The claim goes in, it then gets put into an insurance adjuster, and they usually send out a representative. So I will stay on top of that one. So that one is actually the simpler one out of the 3.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
Did it smash your window?
Yeah, it's just the windows are double paned, it was just one, the outside pane is broken. So the inside one is still intact,
Maybe
thankfully.
that's why we ran out of oil, was using more heat.
He's going out the broken window.
Could be.
Of course.
So that
What does that,
one-
excuse me, what does that then do to the security of your department? Of
I mean,
the,
it would probably be much easier to break the window and get into the building, but I'm not overly
but you're pretty
concerned
confident it's okay? Hmm?
that somebody's gonna do that. Now, we just gave them the idea though. so.
Yeah, maybe not a great.
If you are that special to break into a police station.
Especially,
I wish you the best
Takes all
of luck.
kinds. It takes
especially
all
your
kinds.
office, hide all your trophies, would you?
Yeah.
Seriously.
All right, second one. This one's the sticky one. This snowplow hit a tree. The driver had a medical issue. The driver hit the tree. The plow went in a position that it was not naturally plowing in. So the frame of the plow was bent. The piston, the angled piston is also damaged. And the plow lift, which is at the front, sheared off. That was fixed. That Travis was able to fix. However, a plow with a bent body is not something easily remedied. I contacted the insurance
Can I
company.
just interrupt
Of
right
course.
now? Are you talking about the plow itself or the truck?
The plow itself. So this is a
Okay.
detachable plow. It comes
Yep.
off the truck
Yeah.
during the year.
And it's a power angle plow, so
Yeah.
that's more money.
That's more money. That is correct. So I have the pictures of. I already made the insurance company aware Travis went to see if he could fix it. If he could fix it, yay. If he could not, then we would go through the insurance. If the plow lift is fixed, the plow itself is potentially not salvageable. They have a plow on it right now. They replaced it with something that is older.
Got a
that
lot of
will-
holes in it.
that is, you know, it will do the job for tonight, but it's not sustainable. So we have a $500 deductible. I've already put it in through the insurance that the rest of the plow is not salvageable at this time. So she is going to call me with options, and again, assurance adjuster will come out and take a look, and we'll go from there.
So we're not talking a normal plow here, you're talking about an $18,000 to $20,000 plow.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a truck plow.
It's the big one.
It's a big,
Oh, yeah.
that big orange thing you can see coming down the street. And they angle this way, they angle
That
that
goes to
way.
reserve fund.
That's why we have
I went
insurance.
down and inspected it myself because I'm that kind of person, and I am their liaison, and it's bent. The plow itself, okay, but the whole, what you call the frame of the plow is just bent, the cylinders are bent, and it got damaged hard.
Wow.
So, if Travis can fix it, he'll fix it, believe me, that's the
Yeah.
cheapest way out. But if he can't, we'll have to go through insurance, and, you know, then you're eating 500.
We're eating 500, but like Heather said, we can deficit spend.
Okay.
So
That's the
nice.
first one.
And then the last is on the 1st, so not too long ago. I was pushing out from my plane last night, getting yelled at by a flight attendant for being on the phone. Our 2018 Freightliner was coming down 62. They were came to the Barry turnaround. They were doing their thing where they were going to turn around. He had his left blinker on, flashing lights. I mean, the whole show. A vehicle decided to pass him on the left and struck the plow. The step that steps up into the plow was damaged. The fuel tank was gouged. So
Did not leak.
did not leak. It is not leaking. It does need to be replaced. Right now it is the new step got put in already. He was able to get those parts. But a fuel tank isn't something we just have lying around.
No.
So because we were obviously not at fault. The driver was found at fault for the accident. We'll be going through their insurance to
Get reimbursed. for
get
stuff.
reimbursed for everything. Travis has kept all of his receipts. He's very diligent about that. He's kept all his receipts, and he's going to see if he can get his hands on a fuel tank. I did offer to call around to other municipalities to see if they've got parts that we could use.
Yeah, and sometimes you can pick up a used tank.
Right, you can pick up a used tank. I mean, they were already on Facebook.
Steel or aluminum?
I do believe it's steel.
Okay.
But they were already on Facebook Marketplace or their version of
Yeah.
tonight looking for parts. But I will be putting it through our insurance, but then our insurance goes after
There.
the gentleman's
So-
insurance.
Was there an estimate, what are we talking, 1,500?
Roughly, Travis has to get me the numbers tomorrow because
Yeah.
obviously they had to switch gears from handling
thinking.
this to getting out there tonight to
So a
salt,
tank.
sand, and plow.
Going as
So those are the
probably
updates.
going
Any
to go.
questions?
Okay.
Were there any injuries?
No, no injuries whatsoever. Both
He
drivers
stuck
drove
it
away.
around
I mean,
for-
the Ford Explorer
okay.
that hit the plow truck drove away, but it sustained some damage.
Yeah.
I mean, Ford Explorer versus plow truck. I mean, the plow truck.
What about tonight's?
They're plowing.
I know, but, well, never mind.
He just called me, so I will be dealing with that.
With
after
that
this.
one? The one that
I will be
went-
dealing with that after the meeting, and I'll have an
No.
update for you tomorrow. It's because I opened my big fat mouth down at the DPW asking them not to do that to me.
All right.
Okay.
They're usually pretty good, they don't have this, it's the first time I've heard of issues from the DPW.
When it rains, it pours, I guess, huh?
So, and that could have something to do with the turnover down there, if you know what I mean, a little bit.
Or the fact that we've had so many storms in the beginning and they're all really tired.
Yep. These little
And the
storms.
little
really
storms
matter.
The little storms, they add up.
Yep.
And
you
that's
know.
what drains the budget.
Yep.
Instead
Well,
of
it
just.
drains them.
I understand.
Drains them.
Anything else, Trish, on that?
No, that's it. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I've been working very closely all day with Caitlin, who is our representative from Barry Insurance, just to make sure that everything is done correctly. I's are dotted, T's are crossed. So
Excellent.
Okay, thank you. We move to the interim town administrator position. Once again, welcome, Mr.
Thank you for being
Thank you for being
thoroughly entertained.
Yeah, I'm sure.
He hasn't left yet, so we're in a good spot.
I don't know how to take that.
Welcome to Hubbardston.
But we welcome you, and
Might like it out here.
It's a beautiful
would you
town.
like to
you know.
introduce
Sure,
do
I'm
the
happy.
introductions?
Yeah,
or
I'm happy
and
to.
we'll kick it
So,
up that way.
I-
Oh, excuse me. Public, limited as you are, okay, once the process starts, the questions will begin with us. If the opportunity is there, I will certainly recognize you, but please understand that's the way it's going to work, okay? Go ahead.
All right, excellent. So we, let's see, as a select board last meeting, we had talked about reviewing the different candidates that we had submitted. I think we had 9 people who were interested in the interim position. As a board, we weaned it down to 4. And then we made a decision that Katie, myself, and Chief Kuchar, as well as Mel, our town clerk, would meet with each of these candidates and then come back to the select board and report back, bringing back 1 or 2 candidates to be reviewed and interviewed this evening. We had the opportunity, we actually ended up meeting with 4 candidates today because of the holidays. We had to wait, some people didn't work on Friday, and that was a little, no. So we met with everyone today. Everyone was fantastic, and we made sure when we interviewed folks, we asked them if they'd also be available either remotely or in person this evening in case we made any recommendations to move forward. Everyone was fantastic. When we met with Sean, we were very impressed with him, and he was the one candidate who we all unanimously wanted to put forward to the select board. He has very relevant experience. His most recent town administrator stint was in Swampscott up until 2025, where he'd spent about 8 years. He has a much larger breadth of experience, long-term in municipalities, one of them being actually in Plastow, New Hampshire. I'm sure he'll talk to us a little bit about some of those pieces as we go, but we wanted to bring him back to the select board. I think everyone has a copy of his resume and his cover letter. After we met today, we did talk about coming up with some questions for this evening, so Tricia was kind enough to put together a list of about 11. I don't think any of these are 100% we have to ask questions, but we wanted to give everyone an opportunity to have the questions here, and depending on, Mr. Chair, what you wanted to do, I didn't know if folks wanted to kind of go from one end of the table or the other and kind of see if they had a question they wanted to pick, or if they had one of their own that they wanted to ask.
I'm always good for one of my own.
I know,
Come up
Katie,
with
you
some
are.
ones.
We had a list of 14, and Katie had question 15 ready to go.
Well, I would,
So-
no, that would be, that's fine with me. The only thing, I would apologize ahead of time for, not just in terms of me, but anyone who was not on the initial interview. It's very possible some of the questions we might ask, you have already been asked, and if that happens, I apologize.
It won't be a problem.
It
In
just
that
means he
sense.
had practice on round 1.
Yeah, but it can be redundant too, you know what I mean? So, no, that's fine. So, who would like to start? Anyone?
I'll start.
Okay, go ahead, Peter. Which?
So, how would you support staff who are burned out and weary after leadership turnover? We've had a little turnover lately, and staff has been right on the edge, if you know what I mean. So how would you deal with that?
Yeah, look, we are in a public service business. It can be exhausting. Chief, thank you. Everybody has, peak periods, and so I think we have to understand the cycle and understand that we're human. Even at public meetings, if you kind of look at the board, after a couple of hours, people start to get tired, and you have to understand that, people need to be cared for. As a person responsible for people, I've really thought about that carefully. I like the idea that, we have a lot of affirmation. The compliments that you've paid the staff tonight go a long way. I know it may seem like it's just a passing comment, but people need to hear that they're wonderful and that they make a difference, especially to a small community. As a colleague of folks, you know, getting to know people, getting to appreciate what they're doing, going down and seeing them where they are, traveling around, making sure that you're not a stranger. I think that goes a long way. You've got to be authentic. I like the idea that, you know, there are holiday parties and people come together and they break some bread and
Yeah,
maybe eat some ribs
We
or
do cookouts too.
do all that stuff. You know,
Yeah.
get beyond the positions and more into the
You know,
who are we as humans. It's relationships. I don't think there's a textbook answer to this. I think you just have to live it and prove it. I mentioned earlier today, you know, I've been asked to marry some of my colleagues in public life. I've been asked to say words at a number of funerals, and you know, for me, it's about connecting to the people that I work with. Some of my lifelong friends will be folks that I've worked with in a number of different communities. You know, we go through really difficult experiences together, and those relationships matter.
So it sounds like to me that you would treat your staff, I mean, not only you know them on a professional basis, but personally,
That's right.
you have a connection with your people.
Yeah, get to know them.
You have to,
Yeah.
right? Okay. Thank
That's
you.
why I'm in this business.
Yeah.
I do like people.
You're a people person.
Yeah, I like to get to know people,
Yeah.
figuring them out. You know.
Well, you won't figure me out.
No.
No, not at all. You're just so hard to read.
All set, Pete?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm just
Kate,
trying
go
to
ahead.
break the ice.
So I had a question that I did not ask earlier that I want to ask you now. Are you more of a memo guy, or are you more of a come down and talk to you kind of person?
It depends. If it's really serious, you may get a conversation, then a memo. If it's important that, if it's complicated, typically I like to pencil it out. That adage, the world runs on paper, I think is important. Organizing your thoughts, making sure that you come in with your facts and the details. I'm a big fan of the deets. I like the idea that folks have notes and, you know, we're precise. It's so easy to erode a level of confidence if you're flying by the seat of your pants. And, you know, we're in public life. I think there's a credibility issue with government these days. I think there's more cynicism, more skepticism. Some of it's earned, some of it's not. And I think we have to be more transparent. And that's why I think, you know, having things on paper, having things accessible to people so they can sometimes see in the kitchen and understand that what we do is complicated and there's analysis, there's strategy, and important statutory responsibilities that we have to support. I think all that, you know, sometimes is better outlined in a memo so that people can really appreciate that, you know, we have to support a complicated professional responsibility. I do like to keep an open door though, and frankly I love it when my colleagues call me instead of texting me and ask for kind of a thought. I'm older now, so I've seen a thing or two, and I feel like, you know, before decisions are made, if there's a chance that I can at least try to advise, guide, or support, that might save us all a lot of time.
Okay. Again, hopefully hasn't come up before. How familiar are you with our setup? What I mean by that is, because you were in Swampscott, you were in Plaistow, etc. We're a town of roughly 4,900 people, rounded off. you're coming in, you would be coming in at a time where, for example, budget things begin. And in terms of that, we 60% of our budget, rounded off, goes to the schools. A very small percent of our budget, not of our revenue, is retail. We live and die by property taxes. That's it. It's one of the struggles we have always had in this town, is that we need revenue, etc. Plus, we're limited in the sense that we are a town where everybody's on a well. So we have some unique things. Have you experienced anything of this nature? Are you aware of this coming in like this? But that's what you would be facing, even though it's an interim position.
Yeah.
It's still, that's what we're going to be having to deal with the interim town administrator, because we have got, while we're trying to solve all the other problems that we have in terms of books, etc., we have to begin the budget process.
Yeah.
And those numbers are real that I gave you. It's not an exaggeration, and you'll see people nodding their heads. That's who we are. So.
Oh, I understand. I think, if you take a little look at my background, budgets are pretty much something I've spent quite a bit of my career focused on. If you can't do budgets, they don't let you build schools or water systems or invest in the things that really do improve the quality of life of communities. So I got the budget thing down pretty quick. I worked for a mayor that leveled the tax rate for close to 20 years. Leveling a tax rate, oddly enough, doesn't mean that your average single family tax bill goes down. It just means your tax rate is steady. I focused on the average single family tax bill when I became the town manager up in Plastow. For close to 6 years, I kept the average single family tax bill flat. In fact, I reduced it. For 5 years in a row, I kept the average single family tax bill in Swampscott flat or reduced. We had the third highest average single family tax bill in Essex County, and I showed it to the finance committee and the select board when I got there, and I said, here are 34 cities and towns, you're the third highest. Are you good with that? And they all said, no, we feel like we're overtaxed and we don't get enough. And I said, okay, let's figure out why you feel that way. I'm a professional public administrator. I get into the history of how you've spent your money. It's all on DOR's website. You can get 20 years worth of categorical expenditures for public safety, education, recreation, arts, culture, things that are in your master plan. I've read your master plan, I've looked at your budgets. You're a small town, but you've got a lot of important responsibilities. Your master plan has goals in it. Some of those goals are the select board, some of them are DPW, some of the public safety. I'm curious to figure out, how I can help you with that. I've helped communities build water systems because I've been concerned about the quality of the water, the quality of the groundwater. I look at the Department of Public Health reports, I look at cancer incidences, and I've had conversations with public health folks, and I've worked with select boards and boards of health and planning boards and conservation commissions to really focus on land use and ways to protect the aquifer. I've worked to get grants to acquire open space to protect, resources. Those are things that make me want to get out of bed and really help support the good society. That said, I get taxes. I think some people think, it's a partisan issue. It's not. Good government is on a local level, making sure that every one of these dollars gives us the best bang for the buck, and it helps people understand that, we understand local taxes are painful for a lot of folks. They're on fixed incomes, they may be property rich, but they're cash constrained. I know the demographics. I do take a look at, a lot of things, but ultimately it's your prerogative. You're the elected governing body. My job is to help you with it all. Whatever you need help with, I think I can help you.
Thank you.
support.
Okay. Heather?
So Sean, why do you want to be the interim town administrator in our tiny little, very active town of Hubbardston?
Yeah, I think you've got a great little town. I mentioned earlier, I have two uncles, raised their families in Leominster. It's not an area that's unfamiliar to me. It's a beautiful part of the Commonwealth. And I think you do need some help. And I think my background kind of lines up with it. The interim position is interesting to me. I've got, two 12-year-olds and a 16-year-old. I've just spent close to 20 plus years helping cities and towns, and I think I could use some of that experience in a way that helps support a balance in my life. That said, I feel like you need some basics. I mentioned earlier, there's nothing here that you're dealing with that's extraordinary to me in terms of challenges. It's getting the building blocks together, making sure that your auditors are doing right by you, making sure that you can understand what is exempt and non-exempt in terms of your debt. These are basic things, and I think part of it is just making sure your budget is built in a way that's really well understood. You have really good budget formats and maybe even a town report that really helps people appreciate the work of your departments. There's a lot of good work going on here, and just spending a couple of days kind of reviewing some of these things, I think there are some great tools that I can help you put in place and help really build a foundation for the success of your long-term town manager. I think I've come into communities in Plastow, Swampscott, where it has been a little bit of a grind getting them up, addressing some problems, and I think setting somebody up for success in a complicated job like this, I think that's a good thing to do.
Okay, thank you.
Chris?
So Sean, how are you?
I'm good, Chris. How are you?
Fabulous. Just heard some concerns about finances. We are in a financial challenge. The town doesn't pass overrides. We have not passed an override since I've been in town. What thoughts or concerns does that raise in your head?
I think that's probably a pretty well-established position from taxpayers. If I look at how many communities pass overrides, you can get that on the DOR website. Most folks feel as though they pay a lot in taxes, and as I mentioned earlier, there might be a real concern there. That
Peter complains about it every meeting.
Yeah. I heard it.
I'm on a fixed income.
But I also think, I looked at your peer communities. I looked at your tax rate. I looked at your average single-family tax bill. You're one of the lower per capita and average single-family tax bills out of your peer community. And so maybe that's what you want. Maybe that's what folks really feel they can afford. I don't know enough about that, but you do. You're elected to represent folks. But if you drive around and you look at your municipal facilities and you feel like that's what you feel comfortable with, that's one thing. But if you aspire for more, maybe there's a conversation about whether or not you're getting the right grants. Maybe maybe there is an opportunity to think about a few other strategies to help meet your master plan's goals. Do you have enough businesses? Do you want a supermarket? Do you want to go out and attract some commerce. I've been able to attract major businesses, major engineering firms to properties that have been fallow for 30 years. Up in Plastow, we brought Methuen Construction into the village center, major engineering company. In Swampscott, we brought in a hotel to fill elementary school that became vacant when we consolidated 4 elementary schools. But we had to go out and do it.
Mhm.
And I say we, I had to work with my select board, and we had to bring a vision for how sustainable the community could be. As an interim, can I do all that? And however, no, but could I actually help you put some pieces together to help you really see that you can do more than, like, the budget you just have to do. But you do the budget so you can do everything else in your master plan. You can get that bigger vision, and I'm good at that, you know. And you know, the fact that you've got a budget problem, that lines right up with the skill set that I have. I fix problems like that.
Good.
Well, we don't have a budget problem. The school's got a budget problem.
Yeah, I look at it. We're all. It's just one town.
Yeah, but, I mean, if
You get a regional school.
Quabbin Regional is rated like #2 most expensive.
Gotcha.
So
It's
for
5 towns.
5 little towns,
Understood.
$40 million a year to run this place. What is going on?
We had a regional up in Plastow.
Yeah.
You've got to have careful conversations. You've got to look at student-teacher ratios. You've got to look at student enrollment. You have to really get a sense of how other communities are studying, you know, their finances. Certainly, I can help frame a few conversations.
I mean, I know you're just the interim, but I mean, and you know, every town has this issue with their schools where they suck 62% of our budget goes to them, and we only have an $11 million budget. So that tells you what we're running everything else on. We're hurting. And, you know, and as far as commercial, we don't have city sewer, we don't have city water, and that's a hamper on your commercial properties.
Sure.
We have some commercial property, but small business, basically. You're never gonna get a, not that the people will want anything big, but, you know, anything, even a little strip mall or something that, it's tough.
It's tough, but it's not impossible.
Not impossible, but it's tough.
Typically, you know, and I'm just going to go back to Plastow and Swampscott. We had to have a piece in the game. We
I
had,
think it's
like,
enough time.
Plastow had property that
Since
was attractive to this company.
Yeah.
And I had to work with the board to try to ensure that they understood they had to make an investment in order to, you know, get a return. And the
Agreed.
return is the property taxes, it's the revenue. Same
Sure.
thing with the school.
Yeah.
It's a 99-year ground lease.
Yeah.
And they're gonna get millions in fees and jobs and,
Yeah.
and quality of life. So it's a trade-off. I know it's hard for small towns to think like a city. I spent 15 years working in a bigger city where economic development was, you know, we did that every day. You want a Trader Joe's? Sure, let's go, you know,
Yeah.
put it on 114. You want
Yeah.
a bigger restaurant at the mall? Sure. You know, all those things, you know, they don't all have to happen in a big city. You just have to have a mindset. You can go out there and make some of those deals work. You're a valuable community, you know, in terms of the real estate. You're a large community. You have a lot of, you know.
40% of us is aquifer protected.
It is.
right?
It is. But you're still, you know. I just finished managing a town that was 3 square miles. Just to give you a perspective. It's,
Really?
Yeah. And so there's lots of things that you could consider.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, we're working on one now in the sand pit up the street. So, I mean, I haven't done with that in a little while, but that's like a.
Sean, I'm gonna take one off the list here. Tell us about a time you changed your approach after receiving criticism from the public or staff.
Going down rabbit.
I'm gonna go back to my college football days. I played football and hockey in
Where?
Central Connecticut State University.
Nice. What position did you
I
play?
was an eagle tackle.
Eagle tackle?
Eagle tackle. So I played on the outside shoulder of the tackle, and I had to cover the flats, but I did a lot of pass rushing.
Uh-huh.
Not that fast, but fast enough. So I have a strong personality, and if I walk into a room, I sometimes can suck the oxygen out of it. And there are times, you know, that I really wanted to lead, and I wanted to get up and I wanted to say, we gotta go do stuff. We gotta, and after a while, I started to realize that that's not always the right approach. In fact, I realized I needed to spend more time holding hands and spend more time building relationships on things that were important. I'll give you an example of a project that really, to this day, I regret. The board up in Plastow, in their master plan, said that they wanted to have a train station. In several editions of the master plan, you know, we want to get the train to run to Boston again. Last time they had a train was in 1964. And the state rep in the town at the time said, you know, he wanted to have that train start again. And so I said, we'll do it. We'll get everybody going. I called the governor. I called the U.S. senators. I called everybody, brought them all to Plastow, and I started rah-rahing and championing the project. Everybody got excited. We got a $10 million grant. And then all of a sudden, some neighbors started to show up that were annoyed that we were moving forward with a project that was in the master plan for 20 years, but we didn't talk to them about it.
Uh-huh.
And I forgot that before I made any phone calls, I should have talked to some of the neighbors. I should have actually listened to them and heard them and had some careful conversations with them. And sometimes I think my enthusiasm has hurt me. And just getting back, I try to be more mindful these days. I read a couple of books about mindfulness 8 years ago, and I know I thought it was kind of fancy stuff, but actually it was helpful to me. Take a breath. Think about where you are. Think about what you're trying to accomplish. Think about the people that it might impact. Be mindful about stuff. So I try to be more mindful. I'm
good
not sure
segue.
it's working always, but you know.
That's a good segue. I've got one more question. You touched on it a little earlier, answering one of these other questions about children and, you know, your life outside of work. I'm a big proponent of work-life balance. Past few months, the team here is absolutely outstanding. They do an outstanding job. They go above and beyond. More work than life balance. What's your take on work-life balance, and how are you going to ensure that people who are going above and beyond for this town in this building get life balance?
Sure. Thank you for that question. What we do in public life is so important and so underappreciated. I worked through the pandemic. It was grueling. PTSD. Anybody serve on the board during the pandemic? Yeah. Thank you, but man, exhausting. And colleagues, folks that, had to risk their lives and their families during it's exhausting. And I've tried to implement plans and programs to really help show that we care about our colleagues. I like it. It's not just the town administrator. It's actually the town administrator and the governing body, the select board. We share the
responsibility to try to ensure that these employees are recognized, but also remunerated. In Plastow, I put money in the budget for bonuses. It was shocking for the finance committee. People opposed it, but ultimately we put it in, and we gave out holiday bonuses. I had employees coming to me in tears saying that it made a huge difference in their. I handed them out with the select board. All 5 select board members came up. We had a holiday lunch and we passed out, checks for $500. I know it may sound like a ton of money to every employee, but to me it was such an important investment in the most important people that engage the public. I put the same funding in the budget in Swampscott. And I've tried to, yes, I give birthday citations, I write proclamations for, 50th, 60th, 70th, 100th birthday. I have a liberal arts degree, I can write all sorts of things. And people do appreciate those things. Mm-hmm. They appreciate chairs. If they have, if they retire from public service, you give them a chair. And it's not just that they appreciate it, their family appreciates it, and it lives as a legacy beyond their years. And so you've got to really, you have to have a couple of different ways to ensure that people feel valued. But certainly, making sure that they're remunerated fairly is a big part of it, and also making sure that, they feel appreciated, especially when they go over and above. Sometimes thanks, it's just not good enough.
Good. Thank you. I'll let someone else ask a question if they want.
Anyone else have any other questions?
So Sean, you thought you were all set?
I have one
Okay.
after you that I'm just dying to ask.
So, how do you step into a role, stabilize the town, and then step away responsibly?
I think in positions that I've had, where I've had to transition, I've always just tried to leave in a way that best supports the community. I've left reports, I've left all of my work products. I've tried to help, ensure that folks understand you can always reach out to me. Stepping away from an interim job, I think a part-time interim job, I don't perceive that's going to be a real challenge. I do hope that if I'm considered for this, that it will become another one of my special relationships in my life. Anytime you spend a little time helping a community out, I think that's a privilege, and I'll do my best to leave this town as well as possible, and I hope the relationship just doesn't end. I just hope it transitions into, a bunch of friendships.
Okay, my turn. This is my wild card.
Oh gosh.
So in our meeting earlier, I could only see you from this here up. I have to know what your socks say, 'cause it's driving me absolutely bonkers, and if I have to swear on it, I'm gonna love life forever.
No, it doesn't.
Okay,
What's it say?
I was hopeful. Because I have swear socks, so that's why I was like, oh, please be swear socks.
They're not.
No.
Right there?
I think they're, my kids have a bunch of, sense of humor. I think,
We were meant for each other.
Oh,
Okay,
yes.
are they Girl Scout socks?
no, I think.
Oh, I was
they're-
like, oh, that'd be even better.
Mint leaves.
Yeah.
It leaves? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
These are
I'm
dad,
not writing
there
that
might
in
be dead,
That's
birthday
fine.
presents.
That's fine. I just, I saw them.
Sad
and
but true.
Had to know. I just had to know what
For
they
the
said.
audience at home, there they are.
Now I can't
I
resist this
will have
question.
to write that into the minutes now.
Yes,
Katie.
you have to
Thank
write.
you.
You're welcome. Again,
Desperately.
the wild card questions.
I have a question now I can't resist
Okay,
asking.
go for it. How about it?
Is there anything about Hubbardston or this moment in its leadership that gives you pause?
Oh man!
The last
no, actually,
question.
I really think I thought the conversation earlier today and the conversation tonight was great. I appreciate the fact that you're collegial with each other, and you may not all have the same idea and think the same way, but you make this government work. I do think you appreciate you need some help and you need a team. I do appreciate Trish. I called her down at Disney World. She picked up her phone on Saturday, and I thought,
Work-life balance.
what's
Yeah.
the problem with this? You're right.
Yes.
Like, why are you answering your phone? Like,
Right.
your
I
family
was
needs
waiting
you. I know.
85 minutes for the mine train,
I
and I
know.
saw his name come up. I was like, might as well.
But for me, look, I've been there, and I appreciate you've got a real spirit of service here. That's wonderful, and I think it flows. I think you care desperately about the town. You're all scrambling to try to help the town, and it's complicated, and it's hard to hire everybody and interview everybody and manage all these challenges. And you do need to tighten a few things up, though. I think, and again, I think if I get in here, take a real hard look at a few things, I can come back to the board and have a conversation about how we prioritize, time and effort. Some things probably on a short term, some things medium, some terms long.
Thank you, appreciate that.
The interim town
Well,
administrator.
I'm going now for the round, yeah, well.
Oh, okay.
So, does anyone start with you? And if anyone else would like to ask a question
She's so excited.
before we
I'm
stop the
excited.
question, we'll go that way. Tricia, go ahead.
Okay, so as you know, this is a very small town. Most of the staff are either residents themselves, like myself, or have been here, or just know literally. We're in public service. We know most of the residents who come in to visit us weekly, or So with that, how do you approach leadership in a town where relationships matter, everyone knows each other, and then how does earning that trust in your first few days, are you going to use the staff as a roadmap on how to navigate certain, because you're walking into a building that has tenants who know the staff, or I guess what I'm asking is how do you see this walking into this building with the staff that's already currently here?
I think I'm gonna need a lot of help. Some folks that might be familiar, and frankly, there might be some history here that would be very, very valuable. I also have, I've worked in a lot of complicated organizations, and I've worked in my hometown, and my brother's been a police officer in my hometown, and I've had lots of experience dealing with complicated people. That said, I do believe we should have fun. I think the board has kind of demonstrated a pretty good ability to have fun, but also understand the magnitude of your responsibilities to ensure the community is protected, safe, and people are cared for. So I do like to have fun, but I am serious. I'm somebody that wants to do right by public service and government. I think we can add a lot of credibility to the deficit that I think a few people feel that we just don't care enough.
Mike, do you have anything?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Mike Stoll, 5 Lombard Road. Thank you, Mr. Fitzgerald, for coming to Hubbardston. Really quick question. Are you even remotely interested in the permanent TA position?
At this point, it hasn't even crossed my mind. What I'm interested in is coming here and helping to address some of these immediate issues. I read the local paper articles that I could get online. I mean, there's some things going on here that we have to get a handle on. And it is staffing, but it's also, you know, some of the fiduciary. That said, it's not, I'm not foreclosed to it. It's just,
Okay.
I think if you're an interim, it probably makes sense just to be the interim. For a number of reasons. That said, it's the board's prerogative. I think your question is better presented to the board. You know, in fairness,
Thank you. It was meant to instigate some thought.
Ryan, do you have anything you'd like to ask?
Sure, I'll just ask one question because we had so many earlier.
Yeah.
Sean, thanks for coming in.
Congratulations on your appropriation.
Thank you. Thank you. What challenges have you had in the past with either, if any, with police chief, fire chief, or like DPW director? Whether it be, have you had any difficulty with other department heads?
Yes, I have, and I've had to talk a bunch of that stuff out, and I've had to write some of that stuff out. So when you're a manager, my job is to be as helpful as possible. You have to manage a workforce, and it's complicated. The new post requirements are really, really tricky, and so most important is relationships. Some of the police chiefs are my closest friends. Some of the fire chiefs are my closest friends. Some I've had some real heart-to-hearts with, and I've had to address professional challenges with. It just happens. I can't get into all the specifics because of personnel,
Right.
but for the most part, I've had really extraordinary relationships. I feel like I've helped them all write COPS grants, other public safety grants. I'm a go-getter, and so I think if you talk to some of them, I think they'll all tell you, I'm going to want to see my team go to training, whether it's a Toastmaster certification or a public speaking class or a writing class. I do like to have folks present in PowerPoint. I think it just makes it easier. I think folks at home can see it. So if you're going over budgets, it's charts and graphs. If you're going over policy, it's bullets, and you have the beginning, middle, and end. To me, it helps to enhance our collective credibility. And I'm here basically to be the administrative support staff for my team until you get really good at it, and then you can be the administrative team to your team. It's just part of being on the same team. I like going to the elementary schools. I know they're tough, but I like reading to the kids. I like going with the chiefs. I like lunching and making sure that we're connected. Every one of these positions are unique. There's only one town administrator typically. Now there might be two. I'm just kidding. Only one police chief, and so we're alone in so many ways. So we do need to kind of support each other and connect with each other. Conflict happens. It's just part of our job. We have to recognize conflict is going to be part of any professional position, but resolution also should be part of it. We should get as good at resolving conflict as we are at bumping into it.
Great, thank you.
I have just two quick follow-ups. One made me think of it when you were talking just now. since we are going into a budget thing, one of the things that has been a very important thing to us, and we've been very vocal of the 5 towns that we are in a regional system. In fact, we have our own reputation because of that from the 5 towns, is we've been asking of the regional committee and the school department to give us early chances to see what's happening with what they're budgeting, because so many times, in all the years I've been on the board, it's happened many times when we are doing our budget and we still don't know what the school number is, and a lot of times we get our budget finished, we try to project knowing full well that, and this is the situation we do find ourselves in, we start in the hole to begin with, because we know what the school department's going to come down with in terms of percentage. We know our percentage, and so my point I'm trying to make on that is, in the period of the interim period, roughly 3 months or so, that's going to be an issue that's going to be coming up, to try to get a relationship with us, with the regional system, because that's very important. Obviously, we need to do that.
Yeah, I do think budgeting is an exercise that can be frustrating, especially if it's slow and you don't have things syncing up correctly. I usually look at best case, your educated position, and your worst case scenario, and I usually carry 3 numbers in my head. Here's the trajectory, and the school. I just find that they spend less time teasing out their budget than the municipal side, general government side. It's harder to get into a conversation because it is so political and challenging. But if you go in there with the right numbers, if you look at the student-teacher ratios, if you look at the cohorts of NESDEC, New England School Development Council population projections, and you get a sense of how the district's going in terms of population and budgets, and you can usually get into a pretty nuanced conversation. But you need your other municipal liaisons to the district to probably meet with a group of representatives from each of the select boards and municipal teams to really have a strong, unified approach to school finances. I was able to kind of pull a group together up in Plastow in the regional school district, but it's a hard conversation because it's fragmented. Anytime things get fragmented, the ownership feels it just gets loose, and it's hard to go in there and without a really strong, cohesive regional approach.
And the last thing I wanted last question I'll ask, and that was just, and if it came up when you in your initial interview, then I apologize.
No worries
But
about that.
I think this is unique to us, and that is, we are sitting in one of our projects.
I could tell.
And you, as interim, would also be a landlord.
Yeah,
Because we have tenants, which is not normally the case in terms of that. I don't know if you were aware of that or not, but that's
yes,
the situation
I did see some of
we have
those
here.
small businesses. I've been a landlord. I've rented out municipal properties, and I had dance studios and music studios, and these are public-private partnerships. They can be big, they can be small, but it all is it's part of economic development. It's part of community building, and I think it lines up with your master plan. So.
And certainly tests your interpersonal relationships too with the individuals. Okay,
Great.
I'm fine. Are there any other questions? If not,
I've got none.
I get a lot, but I'm not gonna have.
all right. Then we're ready to move on. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion if you're willing to accept.
Yes, I am. Go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion to offer and appoint the interim town administrator position to Sean Fitzgerald until a term ending no later than June 30th, 2026, pending successful contract negotiations.
Okay, motion's made.
Second.
Second. Any discussion, any questions? All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion passed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming in. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
So if you want to hang out a bit, Sean, we got one more thing and then we move into executive session and we might be able to wrap.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right,
This is the exciting article.
are you ready?
The drug alcohol policy, right?
From
Yeah.
2017.
Yep.
So Sharon came to me a couple of months ago. Mart reached out and said our contract with them it's not void until we fix it. They're still operating, that kind of thing, but if we don't do this section, which should have been done for the past 3 years, but has not been done for the past 3 years, we have to do it. Or they're gonna pull the contract. So I would like to fix it. So I worked with Sharon. I called all of the leaders over at Mart to when they sent me the 2017 policy, it obviously raised a red flag for me. I was like, this policy is from 2017, like what is happening? It's 2025. Then I took a step back and realized, this is Mart we're talking about. And when I asked, is this the most updated policy? And the answer was a resounding yes from multiple people. I was like, okay, this is their policy. It has not been updated since 2017. So all I'm asking for tonight is Hubbardston, all they have to do is adopt the policy. Then I write a letter or whoever writes a letter, interim chair, saying we adopted the policy on such and such date at this meeting, and then I put the vote in, the motion, the vote, and all of that, and then I send that letter to Mart. Then what happens is the Mart drivers then sign the drug and alcohol policy along with Sharon, who is our liaison. And that signed drug and alcohol policy goes back to Mart. Everything, I's dotted, T's crossed, everything is done and over, and we will never have to see it again.
Well,
Unless they update
do it
their
again.
drug and alcohol
Yeah.
policy. No, it should have been done 3 years ago.
But that wasn't up, it's been updated in 2017, so why would it be 3 years ago?
That was a question that I was not
Okay.
able to get an answer
That's
for.
fine.
But I said, that's fine, as long as it's done.
Yep.
And they said, as long as if they do update their policy, everyone who is,
So we don't have to do this every year?
Nope.
Okay.
Once
we
and
just
done.
do it
One and
now.
done.
All right, I'd like to make a motion here
Go ahead.
to accept the Mart drug and alcohol policy on behalf of the Select Board in the Town of Hubbardston.
Motion made.
Second with the friendly amendment. Can we
Yeah,
just add
sure.
2017 to that?
2017, yes, the same policy.
Motion's made and second. Any discussion, question? Peter?
I
Yep.
have a question. I haven't had a chance to read this whole thing over because I just got it, so, is there never mind, I just found it.
Okay. You good now?
Random testing,
yes,
okay.
yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, you good now?
Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried.
All right,
Thank you.
moving on.
Yeah, Mike.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mike Stahl, 5 Lombard Road. Normally, there's an open session and then public and press or media. This is a real quick question. Tricia, I want to make sure I understand what the deadline is for the application for the permanent TA search committee.
Okay, timeline. Applications are due January 13th.
Thank you.
Committee recommendations to be reviewed by the select board, January 19th, select board
13th.
meeting.
Okay.
January 19th,
To be
Yes,
reviewed.
but
at the meeting.
They have to be
my
in the
question is the 13th.
13th.
Thank you for the additional, but I was focused on question 1. Thank you.
Okay, it's not on here, but I would always ask at the end, before we get out of open session, is there anything that's not anticipated by the chair?
Yeah, I've got something that's not anticipated for the chair, and I noticed it wasn't on the agenda either, so thank you for bringing it up. I don't know who can answer this question, maybe Tricia. I stopped by the Flag recycling bin, the Boy Scout flag recycling bin on my way here tonight.
Mhm.
It's full and overflowing. Who watches that and cleans that out
That'd
and
be Hunter.
grabs those flags?
That'll be Hunter. I will let him know. Boy
Okay.
Scouts in general. Boy Scouts does it. He's part of Boy Scouts still.
Okay, and I will give you 3 flags as we leave here
Okay.
tonight.
I will
To bring
gladly
also.
take them.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anything else not anticipated by the chair?
Jeff, I know I didn't put it on the agenda this week, but we need to determine if we're meeting next week again or if we're waiting till the 19th. I know Tricia would prefer to wait till the 19th, but my only concern is,
If we have
well,
positions.
even with an interim town administrator, so that person can actually make the appointments to most of these places, most of these positions.
Yeah.
Once there's a candidate for them, the only problem is we still have to approve the wage authorization.
That is true.
So the question, and we could hold off for a couple of days and see how far we are with the building commissioner, the EA, and the assistant treasurer collector position.
Before,
But-
before date? Pick
Before
your
we
date.
have to determine whether we need to meet on Monday, but my concern is that I don't want to hold up getting those positions filled
No.
because we don't have those approvals.
Yep.
So it'd be the
And
12th.
we still have quite a bit going on. I don't,
I think
I-
we should keep our
even-
Monday streaks just going. 'Cause why
even,
not?
even if we schedule Monday and then we decide we don't have enough, we can always
That's
cancel
the
the
easiest thing to
meeting.
do, I think. Yep. So our next meeting then would be
Monday.
what?
Shocking.
Monday.
I don't know, whatever that is, 7 days from
It's
today.
12th.
Thank you.
It's Monday, January 12th.
The 12th?
Yes.
Our streak will continue. Hooyah.
Is that
Yeah.
okay?
Love it.
Okay. Well, I always have a social event to go to every Monday. It's great.
Yeah.
I feel like I have a life.
Okay.
Hang out with your BFFs.
Anything else not anticipated by the chair? That being the case, we will be adjourning from the open meeting and moving into executive session. And at the end of exec session, we will come back to open session simply to adjourn from our meeting. So